Sup YouTube, welcome back to another video documenting my journey to legend. In today's video, we're featuring some battles in the Jungle Cup, and while I'd love to take credit for this team, it is unfortunately not one of my creation. This team was recommended by Taffy. If you're not following her, she's a fellow Pogo tuber. She's more consistent than I am, so definitely go give her a follow. And she's also an incredibly talented battler, and her team building skills are pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. So without further delay, let's just get into the battles, and I will walk us through this team as we go. And up in the first battle, we're up against Viper. And so I was already sweating as soon as I started playing with this team. We are ABA flying, which we have Dragonite in the lead, and then two things in the back that should cover its weaknesses. By the time I upload my video, Taffy should have her video uploaded, so definitely feel free to check her out. And I don't know how to play this team really, other than the fact that Dragonite is incredibly oppressive and I'm trying to hit legend with it. So anybody who can recommend a team where Dragonite actually puts in some work, please help your boy. So what I decide to do there is I get a shield, I think, or just energy. We're both at shield parity, and I decide to farm up some energy and then come in with Vig and basically sack it is what I'm looking to do. I go for the harder hitting move here because either I get the shield or I get the damage off, and we do manage to get the damage. Unfortunately, I am switch locked, and Viper takes advantage of that. But as you can see here, we are rocking Water Pulse instead of Ice Beam. Now, I assume that the reason Taffy chose this moveset over Ice Beam is because of the steel types, which you're pretty weak to if you're rocking ABA flyers, because there's a lot of Skarmory and there's a lot of Steelix. There's a lot of Steelix. And I think because of that, we managed to take that game. So GG's to Viper. He's an incredibly talented battler. I think I just got lucky there. His skills far outweigh mine in any sort of way. I am now starting to rely on Dragonite just kind of sacking it, you know, because other than that, D-Knight really serves no purpose. Here I'm gonna respect one move and then commit to a farm down if my opponent allows me, and they bring in Cradilly. And so far, so good. This should be going my way. We didn't exactly win lead. Vigoroth puts in work, but we managed to get it significantly low, and we at least got some damage off with Dragonite. And how can I fuck this up? So far, so okay. I am going for the Body Slam, which will KO from here, and they bring in a Talonflame, and I go for the move just before I'm about to get knocked out, so this either takes the Talonflame out of the sky, or we take the game. Wait, why do I think I lost this? Oh, never mind. I thought we lost that battle. Or maybe it's this one. I misplay a lot of these battles, and you're gonna see that my win rate could be a lot higher if I wasn't such a scrub. So I was fearful of them going for the extra Volt Switch if I CMP'd, and they bait me like an absolute savage. And I'm going to assume that they have a pretty shit Charge-a-Bug because they should make that second X-Scissor. They don't. And because they stayed in, I am assuming that they have something like a harder response in the back. I didn't want to get farmed down by Altaria. This is one of the scenarios where I wish I had Ice Beam, but I don't. But I'm gonna act like I do, because you can fake it until you make it, and at such a time, then you can get kicked in the ass. We take the Moonblast on the chin because like there's real no point in me staying in this matchup. I am in a losing battle, and I think maybe this is what costed me this battle. So we go for an Aerial Ace because this is about as much damage as we're gonna get. My switch timer isn't up yet. I'm relying on the fact that Dragonite might have play in the back, so I'm gonna bring in Vig, and there is exhibit number 3. Wait, do I lose this battle too? I'm so confused, man. Honestly, this whole day has been a blur. I don't really know what I'm doing half the time in my life. So I guess we're gonna win this. I stopped tapping to get some energy on Vig because I want to get this Rock Slide off, and I guess we take this one too. All right, so yeah. What the? I promise you I played these battles. I didn't pay somebody to win for me because I suck. All right, we take this game. As you can see, like, the Jungle Cup meta is pretty condensed. You're gonna see a lot of Vigoroth, you're gonna see a lot of Steelix, you're gonna see a lot of Talonflame, and so far so good. Oh, you're gonna see a lot of Whiscash. Whiscash has nowhere to go on this team, so instead of, even though Mantine is technically a harder response to Talonflame, I just like the pressure that Dragonite affords. I'm gonna get debuffed twice here, which is why I go for the Aerial Ace before I get debuffed again, because even though it's a 50% chance, you know it's going to be 100% of the chance when it's against you. So, you know, screw Daddy Cash, man. It's so annoying. I go again, once again, for the move before they get the next Scald debuff, because sure as shit, they'll get the debuff. And do they? Let's find out together, because I clearly played these games. Oh my god, we get a third debuff! Are you fucking kidding me? What is this shit? And this is where I threw this game. I panicked. I thought that they would bring in the Talonflame. I should have came in with Vigoroth, and we would have had this game. I somehow lose CMP, or they beat me by 1 turn, which is fine, but they bait me like a savage. So now I'm going to force their second shield, and I threw like a bozo. Yet again, because I thought maybe they baited with me the Grass Knot, but they had the Rock Slide. So now I'm sure they have the freaking Stone Edge. And how are we going to punt this game? So they come back in with Wiz. They were 1 away, and I wasn't sure if my Dragon Breath would have KO'd. I should have trusted in D-Knight. But then I throw like a bozo, right? Because it takes a turn to switch. So this is going to take me out. They do shield, which is lovely. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Worst case scenario, I need to bring in Vig. Hope that I tank a freaking Brave Bird, which I may or may not. And hope I can make this Rock Slide. That's my only play. And Vig just manages to clutch a Brave Bird straight to the face. And we managed to take out Talonflame. Shout out Shrady. I miss that dude. Skarmory. How do you deal with Skarmory? The best way that I have found currently to deal with this thing is to bait. Nobody wants to tank a superpower. You do survive it as a Skarmory, so you could very well take it. But if I'm staying in, it probably means that I'm weak to Skarmory in the back, which I am. And so I'm gonna bait, and I'm gonna play out the one. I guess I already played out the 1 shield. Yeah, I was gonna build up to a superpower and then full send and then swap out. They bring in Whimsicott, and instead of countering with my most difficult counter, I bring in freaking Vigoroth. This is what I mean by, like, I'm not that, like, I wouldn't make a good F1 racer. You know, like, I always dreamed about getting behind a wheel and running laps in the freaking what's that thing called? The thing Americans do, circles. No, like being a race car driver. But I am so slow in my response times, man. Like, I see some of those videos where these F1 drivers are able to, like, you know, within split seconds, mere like fractions of seconds. And clearly I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy, pal. So they had a Quag, and I'm gonna hope that I survive an Aqua Tail here, which I may or may not. And I have the superpower, but what do? I go for the freaking Dragon Claw. So if I didn't already cuck myself, I definitely cucked myself this time. All they need to do is shield up this move, get my next shield, and they'll outpace me to a Stone Edge. And by this point, an Aqua Tail is probably enough. I can farm down. This is most likely the Brave Bird. Maybe what I should have done was overfarm, you know, keep all that energy. And maybe I would have had more of a chance. But regardless, I needed to... I needed to either full send the superpower or swap into Mantine against the Whimsy. So what I do here against the Claude, if I remember correctly, is I'm just going to outpace, and then I most likely am going to make a catch or attempt a catch on Vigoroth. They actually swap, maybe anticipating it, so I'm going to overfarm and do the exact same thing. Now, what I think my opponent is doing is trying to bait out the Vigoroth, because this is a pretty dominant matchup. 2 Dark Pulses don't do anywhere near as much as I thought they would, which is kind of crazy. But I'm going to rely on energy on Dragonite, because Claude offers no fast move pressure, and I'm assuming that they are either trying to bait it out, or they're definitely baiting out the Vigoroth. But I can up energy, especially since I'm still at equal energy with Clodsire. I can definitely put in work. I'm assuming that I can Dragon Breath down in 9 Dragon Breaths, which we do, and they bring in a Obama. And I was going to do 1 anyway and then throw, just in case. You know, I don't want to give them free energy. And they do come in with, they do decide to not invest the shield. And I think that just costs them the game. And I think at some point they realized that I just need to go straight for aerial aces. Dragonite is weak. You know, he's a bit fragile, but he can tank some energy. I don't know who wins CMP there. I would assume it'd be Mantine. But at this point, I knew the game was won. And so I kind of play like a bozo, as I am wont to do. And we shield up the Stone Edge. And I think at some point they realize the game is over, or maybe they do come in. Okay, yeah. They top left right there. Going up against the real Kim Jong-un. Again, Vigoroth is a tricky matchup, and most teams I've seen are weak to Vigoroth in the back if they're leading Vigoroth. So I'm hoping that is the case here. I'm just gonna let Dragonite go. I figure, all right, they didn't shield, whatever. And we actually do manage to get some energy. They are slow to react, and then they bring in Mantine, and I'm like, ah, shit. I don't want to bait. A case could be made that you should bait. You honestly probably win this just going straight body slam, but I wanted to guarantee shields and hope that Mantine in the back has play. My Mantine is trash IVs, but it does have the potential to win CMP against the mirror, so we'll see. Again, they try to catch a rock slide. I was gonna do one turn wait and then throw to make sure that they couldn't catch. And at this point, I'm fine with just well, I think I was gonna tank a move, but I saw my switch timer was up, so I figured I might as well get some use out of Derpy. They do manage to overfarm, but they're still one away from the move, so I can throw the body slam. And at this point, I may be able to get some energy off on the Mantine. And so I pretty much have this game. Unless I manage to somehow punt it, which I most likely am going to do. I go for the harder hitting move since I'm not making 2 body slams anyway. And they're going to farm me down, which is incredibly smart on their end. They have a boatload of energy, but we are, you know, we do have them down to half health. So I'm wondering how I can punt this. I don't shield the Ice Beam. Maybe they're also not rocking Ice Beam, but they show me here that they are just rocking. They're either just rocking Aerial Ace and Water Pulse, or they're just settling for the Aerial Aces, figuring they will compound and do more damage than an Ice Beam and an Aerial Ace. And we have them move back to back. They were 1 away, I think, and we managed to take that game. So not the nicest plays on my end, but we do manage to clutch out that win, thanks to Dragonite. Now, I didn't play a Gliscor up until this point, but I assumed that they would be rocking Wing Attack. Sky Attack. Is that the one they have? Sky Attack? And Aerial Ace. They do go for the Aerial Ace, and then I figure I can. Okay, I was gonna do one and then throw, but I figure I'll just save up all this energy, which is probably gonna be really useful, and it is. Stunfisk comes in. They CMP tie that they lose. And now we're just going to sack Vigoroth. I think a lot of this video, when I'm save swapping Vigoroth, is just an attempt at sacking Vigoroth, getting as much work as I can out of it. They have Mudshot. There's no world where they Mudshot down Dragonite, no matter how fragile this guy is. And I'm just going to try to get as much moves off as I can. I overfarm to just before they get enough energy, and now I'm going to CMP with their next one and see what they want to do. I wasn't sure if a Dragon Claw KO'd from here. I actually don't know if it does. That looks like just enough health to survive a Dragon Claw, but I figure if they're going to try to get their move off, then I might as well try to force them to either swap out or to stay in to dump some of this energy, and they do. They come in with Vig. I think they tried to make a catch here, and they were almost successful, but I have a Dragon Claw loaded, and now all I need to do is put it in Dragon Claw range, because I'm not sure if I'm going to survive a a counter from the health range that I do have left. This is a bulkier Dragonite. I think it's rank 31, and they're in Dragon Claw range, so this game is over. Unless the game decides to cuck me once again. If I can survive a counter, no, the move appears. I probably could have survived the counter from that range, so maybe my opponent was a little too hasty with the swap. If they do make the catch, I think it would have gotten a little trickier for me, but I think we still had that. As you can see, Whiscash really has nowhere to go on this team. If it's a Shadow Whiscash, I try to CMP with the Dragon Claw because Scald hurts, and I would rather them shield the first move than I have to shield and then them disrespect a debuffed Scald. I assume they're going to swap out. They do. I'm going to wait until they get to 5 and then try to catch on Mantine. They don't end up throwing, but at this point I've done enough chip with the Dragon Breaths that I assume that this is like enough. I build up to the Ice Beam anyway because an Ice Beam still would hurt a little more than Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace is still a pretty terrible move, and I think that I'll be able to outpace here. So they're also just going straight Aerial Aces. We have it. They were 1 away. Even though I win CMP, I didn't want to test it on the off chance that some other madman is rocking a horrible Mantine. I also realized I don't have a Mantine. Like, I don't have a PvP worthy Mantine. I haven't caught enough of this flying manta ray, and I make a mistake here. I should have swapped out immediately. I thought I would get to an Aerial Ace, and I give this thing way too much farm. I think at this point I'm just going to sack Vigoroth. I do. And force them to dump some energy. They catch, which is great. But at this point I'm thinking, okay, they have a bunch of energy on this thing. If I can farm it down, like great. But I don't really need to. I just need to save a shield for Dragonite. Because a Weather Ball, despite how glassy I am, won't KO from this health range. They are at the Hurricane. I expect them to bait. But I'd rather shield a Weather Ball. And they're going to find out that a Weather Ball does not KO. And down goes Felipe, the flying toilet. Okay. Next up, I think this is the final battle in this video. Charge a Bug. I play it out the same exact way. I go for the extra. I feel like in matchups like this, Dragon Tail would be warranted. Because then you get a whole ass Dragon Tail in. And again, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I noticed this one has Air Slash, which hurts a little more. So I do dump some energy. And then I'm going to bring in Vig. I probably could have done one more Dragon Breath and then came in, but that's fine. Just, you know, to optimize energy on Dragonite, which is essentially what you want to do when you have that Mon. Does this team work without a Shadow Dragonite? Probably not. I really don't like non-Shadow Dragonite. Shadow Dragonite is just so incredibly oppressive. What do I do here? I think they're not at the move yet. So I undercharge just a little bit just to get some more energy. Regardless, I'm only making it to one move. But they do come back in with Charge a Bug. And I'm hoping that they either let this through or shield. They decide to let it go. And I think I lose because of this. I probably should have came in with Dragonite and forced them to throw. And then I try to get too fancy here. I'm like, damn, I feel like these wing attacks are chunky. And they bait me successfully. I try to make a catch on the Blast Burn, but I guess they were just going straight Dragon Claw. And then you're going to see what happens here. I have the move. I wasn't sure if their switch timer was up yet. One wing attack will KO that Charge Bug. So I pretty much have this in the bag. I just have to make sure that they don't catch. They do go for the Blast Burn. I wait a turn. And because I waited that turn, that wing attack KOs me and I lose that game. So I could have gone a little higher, but we do manage to hit Veteran. And I have still successfully climbed with this team. Again, I hit Veteran with this team. I was down in like the 2400s or something like that. And Taffy says that she hit Expert. So this team works from about 2400, probably up until Legend, honestly, because this team is pretty damn good. And I wanted to make a video on it too. Thank you, Taffy. I don't think she watches my videos or knows who I am. She's incredibly talented, so definitely go check her out. I'll catch you in that next video. Peace.